Hey guys, so I'm Kain from Infinex. I'm going to be talking about Infinex Connect, which is our new platform to allow people to build applications in crypto that are like what you may have experienced with Infinex. So let's talk about the evolution of wallets first. So starting in 2010, Bitcoin launches. We have CLI-based wallets that were obviously very technical, hard to use, and then very soon after we got centralized exchanges. From there were multiple iterations on wallet tech that happened over the years, but over the last probably 5 years, there hasn't been a huge improvement in wallets, and the reason for that we think is that there is this separation of concern between the wallet builders and application builders, and that makes it very hard for either one of them to innovate because even if people talk about Rabby and some of the other wallets that have launched recently, and how much better they are than MetaMask, and that's true to some extent. But Rabby still has to be like MetaMask. It still has to act like MetaMask. It's hard for a new wallet to come in and say we're going to do something completely differently. And so we have this interesting trade-off space in the wallet and application space in crypto, where you have hard to use, easy to use, and universal and more isolated. And on that trade-off space, we have browser extensions, which are probably the most universal thing. If you have a browser extension, whether it's Phantom or MetaMask, you can interact with almost every single dApp that you come across. You have some issues with chains, but pretty much anything that you come across, you can use. Mobile wallets are much easier to use, but less universal. Oftentimes, there's issues with connectivity. dApps don't support mobile, screen sizes, etc. And then you come down to embedded wallets, which are very easy to use. You go to a new application, you get a wallet provisioned for you right when you sign up, and you can, start using the application straight away. The challenge there is obviously that you need to get funds into that wallet. It's a new isolated wallet, and it doesn't connect to any of your other accounts. So it kind of puts a burden on the user to figure out, how do I get funds into this thing to start using it? And then down the very bottom, you have centralized exchanges, which are the best UX that we have in crypto today, but obviously completely siloed, running in databases. They're not even connected to the chain oftentimes, other than just for storing assets. And so you have this interesting trade-off space through this matrix, right? And what you get is this decision that you either choose to be isolated and easy to use, like a centralized exchange, or you go for a more universal browser wallet style approach, but it becomes much harder to use. There's a lot of issues in getting people to onboard, and it's not necessarily something that a normie Web 2 user is going to be comfortable with. And so this is that trade-off space: browser extensions, embedded wallets, and we can't really break out of here, right? We've got this interesting situation where it's like, how do we get up to that top quadrant up there, more universal and easy to use? And the reason why we haven't been able to break out of that is, again, this separation of concerns, that wallets have to be interoperable with dApps, and dApps have to be interoperable with wallets, and no one can really change this. Then when we started building Infinex, we said, okay, we don't want to conform to this trade-off space. We want to break out of it. And the way that we did that was by building our own wallet, which was kind of an insane thing to do, but and it took a little bit of time, but we were able to get to a point where, we had this trade-off space, and we said, we don't accept it. We want to break out, and we want to build something that is going to be universal and easy to use. And that's what we've achieved. We built something that we believe is universal and easy to use. The issue is that by building this app and wallet combination, we've actually ended up kind of siloed ourselves. We've ended up in this kind of trade-off space where we didn't want to end up being siloed, but we have been. And so the way that we break out of that is Connect. So we've built essentially a mechanism to allow the Infinex account to connect to other dApps. And the issue that we had when we were building Infinex and this trade-off space was that if you want to be able to connect to dApps, you have to be able to, have signing. There's a lot of things that you need to solve, and we solve them internally, but we needed to figure out a way to kind of expose that to other people, expose that to application builders so that they could build applications that felt like Infinex. For those of you who have an Infinex account, it is a very novel experience using Infinex. It feels different to almost everything else in crypto. It doesn't feel like a normal dApp, and we want people to be able to build crypto applications that feel like Infinex. And in order to do that, we have to expose the wallet infrastructure we built to everyone else. And so this is what it looks like. All right, so what did we just see there? So the first thing that we saw is you have effectively an app store now inside of Infinex. So all of the classic dApps that you love, from Aave, Synthetics, Maker, etc., are now going to be available inside the Infinex app. You can basically click on one of those apps, launch it, go out to the external application, and bring your Infinex account with you. And what that means is, again, for those of you who've used Infinex, all of your assets are always available no matter what chain they're on, right? And so here you see, okay, you've got a small ETH balance, but you have $10,000 in other balances on other chains. And so if you want to get into this base market, you have a single button that allows you to swap into it. And so then when you sign transactions inside of Infinex Connect, rather than signing hex and bytes and having these kind of indecipherable transactions, you have clear signing. It shows you exactly what you will be able to do and what you won't be able to do. And the way that we do this is by creating session keys, where the session key has a set of privileges that it's allowed to operate on your account. And that means that you don't need to worry about accidentally clicking on a Google-sponsored link for, Aave with 3 A's and getting phished. For other dApps, you may have, for example, some Sol, and you want to get into SUSD on Ethereum. And so again, you can bring all of the assets that you have in any of the chains that we support, and you can use them inside the dApp without having to go and find a bridge or find some way to, swap into that asset. They're always available whenever you need them. So we have recoverable accounts, no browser extension. So this just works. You open the dApp. You don't need to install a browser extension. You just click connect with Infinex and your assets are available. You can bring your entire portfolio, no matter what chain it's on. It's always available, whatever asset, whether it's on, Solana or an L2 or Ethereum mainnet. We have gas sponsorship. And that means that if you go to a new chain, for example, you don't need to worry about getting gas on that chain. You can literally swap into USDC and start transacting straight away. We support 14 plus chains right now, and we're rolling out chains very quickly. So, we're going to be launching with new chains almost on a weekly basis. So Monday next week, we will have the first set of apps. Aave and Synthetics will be available, and maybe one bonus application. So that's Monday, New York time. For patrons, you will be able to go to your Infinex account for the first time and start using external dApps with Infinex. After that, we're going to launch with Mega ETH dApps and Fogo dApps. So we have ambient, GT, and noise are all launching soon after. And then following that, we'll open up the SDK. And the SDK will allow any builder to build a new kind of application that looks and feels like Infinex, that's chain abstracted, gas abstracted, has all of these benefits, clear signing, and you'll be able to start building apps that don't feel like a dApp. They feel like a crypto application. So on Monday, available to patrons, go into your Infinex account. You'll see an apps menu option. Click into there and you'll see the first apps available in the Infinex App Store. You can find out more, go to infinex.xyz/connect, and we'll have more information coming out over the next few days. Thanks very much.